What is up? Welcome back to the podcast. We're a little late tonight. We just had a 3 hour drive to Fort, but we wanted to kind of still be able to do our podcast tonight. So, as always, I'm Hunter Twisdale.
And back again, Heath Griffin. What's up, y'all? Glad to be here. Tonight, we are going to talk about something that, man, has really become clear to me because of the last 3 years and how this has all been working. But tell them what it is there, Hunter.
Well, we want to help people be able to put themselves back on the gold standard. Yep.
Cash is dead.
It's dead. And you can put yourself back on the gold standard. That's what we're trying to do, and everybody should do it. Okay.
People don't really realize it yet, but holding cash right now is actually one of the riskiest financial positions that you can be in. And it must seem weird to most people. Wait, we need cash to live, but I mean, think about it. It's not because cash just disappears overnight, but because it quietly robs you every single day.
I mean, cash is not neutral. It's actively working against you. So, I'm just going to explain a little bit. So, inflation is permanent, okay? Printing never stops, and purchasing power only goes one direction.
And if we think about it, guys, it's not just about inflation anymore. Now that all those other countries aren't using the U.S. dollar that they've had to have for so long to buy oil, they're dumping all that back on us. So it's more than just hype. It's hyperinflation now. I mean, it's here. We're seeing it. We're feeling it. And cash isn't a savings anymore. It's just a decaying paper pulp. You know, that's all it is.
Yeah, fuzzy balls. We're definitely gonna touch on that probably tomorrow's podcast because that's a good point for sure.
What does it say?
It says, can you believe the government offering double Bitcoin or digital gold, which the government can seize whenever they want?
Yes. I actually want to hop off topic for that real quick. They always talk about, they used to, or back in whenever it was, I can't remember, 73 if I want to guess right, but they confiscated gold. They told Americans that they gotta turn in their gold, and yeah, it's all good. I got bit by a dog today, and it's leaking. Hunter pointed out to me.
So I mean, the system it's built for failure. It's built on debasement. And just to make it clear, fiat money it requires expansion. And expansion requires dilution. And dilution...
It destroys savers. Destroys savers. You can't save in that kind of a environment at all.
Yep. I mean, if your wealth is denominated in dollars, it's denominated in loss. Let that sink in a little bit.
Yep. Every day. This, let's see. You're not trying to spend gold daily. I mean, we understand that because right now we don't have a card on our gold and silver account. I promise you, when I do, things are going to be a little bit different. But, you're storing your value in something with gold. You're storing your value in something that can't be printed, or silver. You're measuring wealth in ounces, not promises.
Yep. I mean, a personal gold standard means that my money, other than what I have to pay for my bill that day, it doesn't depend on a politician or printers or policies. It is protected. I'm on the gold standard for everything that I own, except for what I need to have for the bills that I have to pay.
Yeah, this is definitely a new idea because when we were on the gold standard, it was a long time ago. But when they were, that's how they lived, And if they wanted their gold, they got it. And that's what we can do now with a gold and silver account.
Mm-hmm.
Cash, it's printed, it's debased, it's frozen, and it's inflated, right? And then of course, you go to the bank, sometimes they don't even give it to you. You have to get their permission. That's crazy.
100%. But gold, on the other hand, it's finite. It's global. It's liquid. no counterparty risk, and has survived every monetary system in history. And did I say it's liquid?
Yeah. People don't quite get that. They're like, well, how is gold liquid? It is with a gold and silver account. That's what we're really trying to drive home here, guys. Like, we can do this now. It's a simple thing, and it's beautiful.
So just so y'all know, when we say gold and we're mentioning gold, it's not just gold we're talking about. We're talking about silver. They usually are intertwined. So that's what just to clear it up.
Silver is the new gold. So,
And gold doesn't need confidence. It doesn't need trust. It just is what it is. It is
true.
gold and silver. And I mean, moving savings out of cash, keeping only what they need for expenses, and putting excess into real money, that's the key to being on a gold standard for yourself. And in reality, cash is for spending. I don't want none of that cash. Gold, that's for saving.
that's right. Stewardship, really, it's not about gambling. Uh, I just so many people think that buying silver and gold is a gamble. It's not at all. Leaving your money, like, if you have $5,000 in your bank account and you don't need it, you're gambling that the inflation's not going to rob you blind of it. But when you move that into gold and silver, it's the opposite of a gamble. You are secure. I mean, it's about refusing to store all the fruits of your labor in something designed to lose value.
Yep. Like we said earlier, it is 100% more risk to put your money into cash than into gold and silver.
I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I work hard for my money, and I want it stored in something that works just as hard as I do, to hold its value. You know what I mean? I work hard. I know you guys work hard. We don't want to let the fruits of our labor slip away.
Yep. Lady Bird, that is a great question. She said, "Is it worth buying gold at the moment as it's so high?" Fantastic question. And they asked the same exact question about 10 years ago when it was like, I don't know, like $1,200.
Yeah, even when my parents were teaching me about gold and silver, they were getting it at 600 an ounce and for gold at the time, and that was with a high premium. I wish I had that premium, but just to compare it,
That
though,
seemed high to them.
right? So right now, everybody says gold is so expensive, but the thing is, it's not. Gold and silver's value have never changed. They're the same thing that they always were. You will always be able to buy what you can buy with gold and silver. It takes a little bit of time for it to sink in. It did with me, at least. But the only reason that we think that gold and silver is so expensive right now is because our dollar is only worth less than 3 cents than it was originally.
Mm-hmm.
So when gold was $35 for an ounce, $1 equaled 1 ounce of silver at that time. And so fast forward to today, gold and silver haven't changed. So that was in 1965. A great little analogy or whatever. 25 ounces of gold. I'm sorry, 25 ounces of silver, or $2,500. This is in 1965 when that new Mustang came out. That nice 1965 Mustang. You could get one for $2,500 or 2,500 ounces of gold. Fast forward to today.
Silver.
I'm sorry, silver. Fast forward to today, though. You could still take that 2,500 ounces of silver and get 2 brand new Cobra Mustangs. I'm not talking the cheap ones, I'm not talking the LX or anything, but you couldn't even buy the tires with $2,500, unless you got a good deal, I guess. But you know what I'm saying? It's just not there anymore. So the way that we are learning, have learned, it's just blown our minds, though. But cash is just the biggest risk that there is. And now that we have a gold and silver account, that's where we store all of our wealth. It doesn't matter if gold and silver go up and down compared to cash, because that stuff's just trash. Well, if we have a big old vault full of gold, because our money is our real money, gold and silver is stored in vaults, you know what I mean? Then we'll always have what we need. So anyway, I say the same thing over and over, but What'd you read? What'd they say?
She said, might invest some of my money as it's not getting much from the banks. It's just the same as the price of houses. Ours was cheap compared to prices now. We struggled as the interest rate was high. Yeah, 100%. It's so the reason gold and silver is never a bad investment. Doesn't matter what price it's at. It is never a bad time to buy. It is always going to be a buyer's market. It's never going to stop growing because gold and silver's value, just for monetary reasons, they're based off of simple, like inflation. The more that they print the dollar, the more that it's inflated, and eventually that it's going to keep inflating so much it's going to pop.
Right.
Gold and silver, every single time they print another dollar, gold and silver go up. They print another dollar, gold and silver go up. Sure, it might go down. Like right now, it went down a little bit from what it's at the start of this year, but that's because they're manipulating the system and selling out before this big turnaround that they got coming. So currently,
Put your finger
silver
in my face one more time. And
silver is currently extremely undervalued compared to where it should be at with gold, which is usually 15 gold to 1 silver, or even 12 gold, 1 silver. It's still significantly undervalued at this point. But that's not even touching the industrial use for silver. Silver is one of the most industrial used metals that we have today that we don't have enough of. It's used in solar power, used in electric vehicles, phones, like you name it, electronically, it's in it. AI systems, it's in it. And we're building a lot of that kind of stuff right now, so we need as much of it as we can. So the monetary use for silver has a long way to go, and the industrial use has a even longer way to go. So no, just because gold and silver are high right now does not mean it's a bad time to buy, because they're not going to get lower.
real estate is such a great comparison for that. But really being a forward thinker. So just going back to the 90s, because hindsight's 2020. When my parents were getting it at 600 an ounce, if we knew what it would become, we would have realized, man, this is discount right now. I need to get as much of this as possible. And it's the same story today. Yeah, 5,000 seems like a crazy number for an ounce of gold. $100. People think, wow, silver's never even been there. But here next year, when it's $400 for silver, maybe 10,000 for gold, it's gonna be, looking back, you're like, man, I should have taken that chance as I could, And so it's only going to, it's right now we want to get as much as we can, because the dollar is allowing us to get more right now, because it's just it's cheap. It really is actually cheap if we think about what it's going to be in next year, and then on from there.
That's a good point, Fuzzy Balls. But Lady Bird said, "What's the best to buy, silver or gold at the moment?" I can't tell you what to do. I can show you what we do. If you want to shoot me a message at 901-403-2293, or just hit the link in the description, I'll gladly show you what we do, which we have found to be the absolute best way to buy, and 100% the best way to sell your gold and silver when you need to, and to put yourself on the gold standard. This is the only way. There's no other company out there that we have found, because we've looked. Trust me, I've looked really hard. There's no other company that you can put yourself on the gold standard. That's fine. We're in the UK. We're actually in 68 countries, the company that we get our stuff from. So that's not an issue at all. Okay?
One of the coolest things about these other countries that we're in, like India and
I'm pretty sure the UK has a VAT tax. Actually, I'm not 100 on that, but I'm pretty sure they do.
So a lot of these countries, they're actually having a VAT tax, a surcharge, if you have it shipped into your country, and so that makes that high number that everybody thinks is